I'm going to prove to you why God won't come into this world and change everything, even though we have a satanic government trying to manipulate the masses. God is not a being in the sky. We are all one awareness inside of different minds and bodies. If you turn off your body when you go to sleep and you turn off your mind from thoughts, you are pure awareness, just observation. That is what the soul is. And that soul or observation is inside of every single one. So God is the unmanifested source of consciousness. And it's up to us how we unfold the creation on the earth. We create and unfold this experience. God can't come into the world to change the world because God is us. We are all awareness trying to see itself through different minds and bodies, right? So God cannot come into the world. It's up to us whether we create the creation into our favor or we let the elites control us and they basically control creation and where creation goes to. God can't come into the world because we are all God experiencing itself in a mind and body. Depression doesn't exist when you realize every thought you think produces a feeling. You can control every feeling you possibly feel through self-mastery. This is not spiritual nonsense. This is personal empowerment. Thoughts equals emotions. Let's do a test. If you think of a very sad moment in your life, notice the shift in how you feel. Now switch it. Think of a very happy moment. What happened? You begin to feel that happiness. That is proof. Thoughts produce feelings. Therefore, if you become conscious, if you become the observer of your thoughts through daily meditation, you can start selecting your thoughts. Most people, like my old self, was on autopilot, acting, thinking without awareness. I was unconscious. But the more conscious I became throughout my day, the more I could pay attention to your thoughts. Because when you meditate, you connect with the observer of the mind and not just living in the mind and thoughts itself. So the more you connect to the observer, the more it starts to infect your daily life. Every time I caught myself giving awareness to a negative thought, I have a discipline. I'd slap myself or I'd hit my head or something that just trained me to never give awareness to an evil thought. I only now give awareness to the thoughts that empower me, that give me power and give me confidence throughout life. So when you realize you are not the thoughts, you're the observer of them. And the more you connect to the observer, the more you can choose and select which thoughts you give awareness to. And that will dictate your feelings. Depression does not exist when you understand this. The reason the Freemasons use this logo is because it represents mind over matter. The compass is a tool used to create circles and the square tool is used to create lines and squares. The surface area of a circle can never fully be calculated to the exact number, which symbolizes something that cannot be measured, something spiritual, which would represent the mind. The mind has no boundaries. You can imagine anything you wish. It is infinite and it is the cause of all creation. The square represents something that is physical because you can calculate easily the surface area of a square. So this represents something that can be measured and the compass represents something that cannot. Our job is to change our consciousness from cubed consciousness all the way to causal consciousness. Cubed consciousness is using the mind to react to the world outside of you when the world outside of you is simply the effect of the mind. Reacting to the world outside of you will do nothing and will not create your reality consciously. It will create an endless cycle of negative manifestation. The world is trapped in cubed consciousness, simply reacting to their senses and reacting to the world outside of them when it's already manifested. Causal consciousness is when our mind rules our body, not the body rules the mind. The compass is sitting on top of the square, meaning that the mind is ruling the body. It's a command center and not a reactive center. If someone screws you over in life, do not sit around and complain. Learn from it, move on, and use your mind as a command center to create reality consciously. Let the mind rule the body. If you think negative thoughts, your hair turns gray. That means the body is the effect of the mind. These ancient instructions on how to function consciousness has always been hidden behind symbolism, and that's why the Book of Symbolism can teach you all of this. Moaning about your reality will keep you in an endless cycle of negative creation in your life. There is no point in complaining. Why? Because the mind is the cause of reality. The physical world is the effect. Everything outside of you is already manifested. This drawing was in my mind, now it's already here. If I sit here complaining about this drawing, what is it going to do? Absolutely nothing. We need to change our thought process from a reactive thought process to a commanding thought process. Someone screws you over? Yes, complain for a second, then move on. What can I learn to now create a better reality? Everything outside was first thought in the mind, then a physical reality. God thought the world into existence. Now you think your world into existence. You're a co-creator. We need to shift our mind state from reacting to the world of effects, physical reality, and make our mind a commanding cause. If you react, nothing will happen in your life. You have to change this mindset. The easiest way to do magic to change your reality is by understanding the pentagram. In magic, we're not working with the physical elements, we're working with the 5 elements of human consciousness. Spirit represents the womb of creation, the void where all creation springs from. Spirit descends first into fire, which represents the power of willpower. Fire or willpower descends up to air, which represents the mind, thinking. Air, the mind, then descends to the element of water, which represents desire and emotion. Then desire and emotion descends into the earth, which represents the physical body that takes action. The pentagram reveals how energy moves from spirit to willpower. Willpower creates thought in the mind. Thought turns into desire, and desire then moves the physical body to take action. So if you want to control your reality, control your mind of what you think, because what you think becomes what you feel, and what you feel is what your body takes action upon. And that is how you create your reality. You can learn all about this inside of my book, The Book of Symbolism, available in my profile.